All right, everybody. This is our second podcast of First Class Hockey. And we are here with Angus, who is San Jose,
Yep.
Perron being Seattle, and Canadian Mike being Nashville, aka Silver Mike. But the Rangers is the American Mike, and he is the one and only. So he will be joining us shortly. And rumors are that Washington will also be joining us. So, we're going to start basically looking at the lottery draft. We're going to flip into some trade deadline reactions where I'm going to probably get roasted and follow that up with playoffs that I'm also getting roasted in. So, we'll start it up for those people who are listening to this live. I'll try to speak how this is going, but I'm using that 100-yard dash. So I know everyone else can see it. So here we go. LA has the number one chance with +9, Washington +8, Quebec +7, San Jose +6, but really it's not his pick. And the same with Quebec. Islanders +5, Seattle +4, Boston +3, Colorado +2, Columbus +1, and finishing it off is Detroit with the 10th best chance. So here we go.
Rooting for my boy. Come on, Seattle.
So to start off, we got Boston, who takes a big lead. Washington is going for it as well. Oh, San Jose's starting to make a comeback.
No.
Colorado is just falling behind. San Jose is going for it.
No.
Would it be great if San Jose won again, but this time it's not his pick? Boy, I'd love that. Computer LA is chugging along. Colorado is running about my speed. Oh, LA gets
there first.
LA gets first. Quebec gets second. So good job to, I think it was Minnesota.
Dallas.
I said Dallas gets second overall pick. And then we have Seattle. Looks like he can finish third.
Washington's coming up the rear.
Third.
Seattle, Washington, San Jose fifth.
Fifth, not bad.
Islanders sixth. Ooh, these last four pretty rough. Can Detroit jump from 10th to 7th? That'd be good. Oh, Detroit jumps up.
Oh,
I feel bad for Columbus. I really hope Columbus passes Boston.
I feel bad for Boston, man. Like they had what, 3rd and 6th odds or some junk.
Yeah.
They're gonna get 60.
Who others pick? Is it? Oh, Boston looks like they could go. Boston's 8th, Colorado's 9th, and Columbus drops to 10th. So I'll do a little screenshot of that.
So LA is BPA.
Yeah, the first pick's BPA. So
first pick gets an Oshawa Generals player. A little known fact, that is my OHL team. They're great, and that's really all I got. And I live in Peterborough, but fuck, the Peterborough Beats. So there we go.
Unfortunate that his player projection is like a defensive-minded Taylor Hall.
Yeah, which is not Taylor Hall, because Taylor Hall doesn't know defense.
A strong two-way player is one of the better snips to get, though. He's probably like a 10 to a 12 offensive role and probably like a 20 defensive role.
Yeah, I have him projecting as like Gabriel Landeskog. So,
I mean, that being said, I will say that we have a couple open spots. So for those people that are listening to this podcast, we could use 2 more GMs. We have LA that's open. We have Quebec that's open. Then we have Edmonton who is open and Anaheim that is open. So with that being said, it would be great, a great opportunity if we get a new LA GM before the auto pick happens for that to happen. So
Sure.
there is that. I'm going to stop my screen share if I figure out how to do that. And yeah, uh, it'd be great if we get that. Obviously, for anyone that's trying to recruit, we got Edmonton, who still has Connor McDavid. Hopefully, the computer has better luck re-signing than Lurf. But
He already resigned.
oh, perfect. Maybe I'll tell Lurf so he'll come back. We got Anaheim, who was Mitch, and I know that he lived somewhere in Europe. So hopefully he's not currently being affected the same way that one of our other guys is. I know Winnipeg is having a little bit of a potential rough time right now. So hopefully Mitch is not also facing that. And Quebec really is a great team. The fact that they finished with one of the worst records is honestly just because the CPU is terrible. And Philly got into the playoffs over Quebec. So, um,
And Los Angeles as the #1 overall pick.
yeah.
And they've
And
actually got a pretty solid young squad.
yeah, they've had a top pick for most of the league because they're one team that's never really had a GM. Every single time I get a GM, they leave. So New Jersey was the original LA GM, and then he just disappeared. Came back and ended up with Vasilevsky. So I mean, I guess that works for him. That being said, that pretty much kind of summarizes the draft. We'll get that going probably tonight. I'll take a look at the file and see if I can make it not trash like last year, since now I have a life and in December I did not.
Yeah.
So let's break it down into trade deadline. Obviously there was a couple trades that were vetoed. A couple of those couple trades then got fixed. Then I took a couple different people's opinions and I've created the trade committee. So, I mean, I guess first, before we talk about individual trades, what do you guys think about the trade committee? So, rather than having it so everyone is just voting on it, there are 5 people that are on it. And some of them are even people that vetoed my trade. So I'll just get that out there so people don't think I chose non-vetoers. But we got MZ on there, uh, Silver Mike, Buffles, Crypto, and The Long Road. So honestly, the way that I looked at it is I'll look at Colorado's trade where they tried to trade New Hook and got absolutely flamed just for no reason whatsoever. And then people were in an uproar after Mike traded for him. And I could be wrong, but I feel like, Mike, you were one of the vetoes. So that being said, Angus, tell me what your thoughts are for the trade committee. Whether you think it's a good idea, bad idea. I'm always up for changing things up. So
It's a good idea. It's a system that's, kind of tried and true. You want to have a group of people who have been around the league and have seen all the deals that have happened that can identify a bad deal. No offense to MZ, but he's also still relatively grasping the game. I don't know how much he's advanced his knowledge of the game in the last, 2 or 3 seasons, but he's he's not like an issue of mine personally. Like, I don't have a problem with MZ, even though he is who he is. I'll just say it that way. About as nice as I can be. 5 is probably a good number, but I think 7 is going to give you more consistency on who's available, like to see trades happen as they're happening. Veto them immediately, like right before a sim, or like right before the trade deadline. That's a bad time to have like only 5, and then you're stuck with like maybe 2 people who are paying attention. And I would also suggest that you do more of the new blood. Like what I had suggested is you want to have people who have been around and seen all these deals and have been in the league for, the entirety of it is good. And then you also want to get people with fresh perspective. And some of the new people we've brought into the league are really knowledgeable GMs. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Personally, I think we're gonna have to see how it goes, right? With any new system, it's hard to gauge, especially as it was implemented right after the trade deadline, right? We haven't really had a chance to see it in action, so I think next season will be a good indicator for how that trade committee works.
I mean, do you think 7 people is better than 5?
It's hard to say. Personally, you need to balance out active people with uh with the number of people, right? You want people who are active, but also more people can just make it more of a free for all debate. But that's also probably a good thing to have different perspectives. I do agree with Angus's point of bringing in some of the newer GMs who have different perspectives. I believe I know the new Vancouver GM. He's quite knowledgeable, and the new Tampa GM as well. Dan, I'm pretty fairly certain he's fairly knowledgeable of the game.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, I can always kick out MZ and put in Dan or the Nux. I'm good with that. I mean, honestly, I figured 5 was fair. And worst case scenario, if there's ever a deadlock and there just needs to be like one ultimate vote,
Yeah.
there's people can reach out to either the VNC or myself. I mean, I'll be honest, if I'm at work and it needs to be done instantly, it's not going to be me. So that usually is a thing, but usually that type of trade is not needed to be done. Like in the middle of the day, usually it's fine for a couple hours. So I definitely agree with that. I also did try to get people that I know are usually on at night. So like Birdman, for example, I think is super knowledgeable and knows about the trades. And the same with like Kyle, and Tyler. But all 3 of them tend not to respond instantly
Yeah,
to
like
messages. So
Kyle and Tyler are also both either running a league or a VNC in a league and are in multiple leagues. Like they're in 3 or 4 leagues. So
yeah. So I mean, because of that, I just didn't add them to it. So, but I mean, there's that, and then there are certain GMs that I am not putting in that position. Period. So that being said, I think it will be good to kind of see how it reacts, and I think kind of like you said, it will be interesting to see how the next year goes, and from there I can always kind of make changes and yeah, I think that's definitely one of the good things about that. But I'm glad that it was well received because I think a lot of people did talk about it before, and I just kind of wanted to leave it as is. And I mean, then there was good reason for it the second time. Um, so that being said, I will hand it to you guys if there's maybe a trade you guys want to talk about, like the Vasilevsky trade seemed to be one that people talked
Don't
about.
get me started on that.
yeah, let's
Um,
not.
yeah, I don't know. Do you think there were any like moves that were really well done? Maybe one that you're like, why would they do that? Um, yeah. I'll this time I'll let Mike start it up.
Yeah, I mean, the one that I think anyone who's talked to me since the trade deadline knows that I was not a fan of the Vasilevsky trade. Just personally, right? Pittsburgh's in playoffs, and with a goalie like Vasilevsky just being that consistent, I feel like you have to give it like give him a shot, right? Just go with it, because like trading him, yeah, okay, the assets are great and all, but with how unpredictable playoffs can be, having a goalie like Vasi behind you, I feel like just an absolute win. I understand trying to get younger, but I mean, I would personally be going for the novelty of winning one last cup with Crosby.
True.
Any thoughts on the Vasi trade from anyone else?
I will say that the way he responded to the veto was the proper way to respond to the veto.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just adding what did he add? One
Two
first or
firsts.
two first?
Yeah.
That's fair.
It was still, I mean, that's how bad it was. Where 2 firsts, and you're like, like still pretty close to being veto worthy, but not quite. I will say that Boston has done a pretty good job, like getting Peyton Krebs for Shen. Like, and he got a third out of the deal, was really good. His current comp for me is Newhook, so I don't think he hits that. I don't think his CA gets past where he's much further than where he's at to get to that 5-star Newhook level. But he's a pretty good playmaking center.
Yeah, it's not bad, and he's already 25, so I don't know
Yeah.
how much better he'll get, but he's on a long 4 more years at 2 mil. Like,
That's good.
even if that's your third line center, right? That's very
Right.
affordable third line center.
Well, I mean, even if you have a bunch of centers and you want to push him to the wing, like he could be a good playmaking left wing for you too.
Yeah.
But he's not in that position. He needed that center, so I thought that was a really good deal.
Yeah. I will say I made a trade for Frederick Anderson with Boston, and oh my God, has Frederick Anderson shit the bed since he's gotten to Nashville.
Ouch.
He in Boston he was posting a 915 save percentage. In 6 games in Nashville, he posted an 877.
Wow.
So little rough.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Boston had a pretty good play as well, where they dumped off, who was it? The two to Tampa Bay. It was like
Howla.
Tarasov and Hutton.
Nyquist and Dvorak.
Oh, those two.
Yeah, to Tampa, got 2 first-round draft picks and a second.
Did he really? Wow. He
Yeah.
also did a deal with Tampa where he sent Howla for a third and a fifth. So
Yeah, the Hallow situation was interesting of getting claimed off waivers by low end teams just to sell them back to high end teams.
it's
I mean,
definitely a good
It's a
strategy.
hey, it works. It works.
Yeah. No kidding.
yeah, it is true. And I mean, Tampa Bay made a lot of additions. I was kind of talking to the long road yesterday while we were talking about doing the pod, but then no one else decided to show up. And, you know, we were just talking about how obviously at the beginning of the year there was like I said, I made the decision to move Vasilevsky and Virtanen, who ended up being put on waivers after, to Pittsburgh, and then sorry, no. Anyway, I moved them off of Tampa, and then I took the 2 off, like Gibson and Kucherov off of Vancouver, sent them to St. Louis. When you look at like the actual move, I mean, Kucherov had 70 goals, so I mean, I didn't necessarily see that coming for St. Louis. But Vasilevsky during the season didn't have the greatest season, and Virtanen wasn't a huge loss for Tampa. But then they also got like Thomas Hurdle from Columbus. They gave up 3 first-round draft picks and 2 second-round draft picks. And honestly, I'd say they're in better shape because they actually had cap space because of Vasilevsky. Like,
Yep.
don't get me wrong, I know Vasilevsky probably pushes Tampa to another Stanley Cup, but they also didn't have any type of salary space because Vasilevsky just made so much money. So I do find it interesting that the pod that we did at the beginning of the year, two sticking points that I feel like I can say, I was right, is the fact that I don't think those changes necessarily altered standings a significant amount. And two, just to clarify, I remember saying that Minnesota was going to make the playoffs, and people said, no, he won't. And yet he had 51 wins. So that being said, I personally don't have too much to talk about the trade deadline other than that. I mean, I think there were a couple small moves. It kind of worked out for me. I really had to make that Anthony Cirelli trade after signing Heiskanen because I was under the impression I had more salary cap space than what it said. Um, so there is that. I'm a little sad that I had to trade Sorelli, but I feel like I got some good play through there, especially because when I get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, I only have to give my second to Washington. So kind of is like I traded Sorelli for Samsonov, which was probably a little bit of a more important position for me there. So any final things on trade deadline? I know Biron, you haven't said much, so I didn't know if you wanted to jump in on this.
I don't know. Not a whole lot really stuck out about trade deadline to me. I'm just still trying to figure out a lot of the way the league works, how the game works, and it's a slow process, but I think I'm starting to get it. The deal I made at the trade deadline to cut some cap got Jeff Skinner out. Don't have to worry about his contract anymore. Is going to be helpful come free agency. Kerfoot scored like 20 goals for me in 18 games or 14 games or some insane amount.
17 points in 22 games.
Yeah, 17 points, 22 games. That's pretty solid for a guy on a third line, basically. I mean, yeah. I didn't really have anything that really stuck out to me. I mean, I had things about the Vasilevsky. Oh God, I can't say his name.
Just call him
Vasilevsky.
Bassy.
Vasi. All right. Yeah, Vasi. The Vasi trade. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It existed in a realm that wasn't pertinent to me because I'm not going to the playoffs, and I'm not going to the playoffs anytime soon.
Yeah.
One. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna ask Byron why he's not talking about Gushin and Eckel, who you got
Was
for
that
pennies from me.
was that a trade deadline deal? I didn't think that was trade deadline. I thought we were just talking about trade deadline deals.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
Yeah. No. Okay. I don't understand Daniil Gushin. I don't understand him at all. He has 85 passing and is not supposed to shoot the puck. It's not his job. That's not what he's supposed to do. He's so good at passing, he passes it to the opposing goalie and scores. That is my mindset, and I'm not going to be swayed otherwise.
You do know that you can change his individual setting, right?
Yeah, he's on pass first. He doesn't care. He scores anyways.
Yeah, we set up the line so that Olafsson would be his goal-scoring left winger, and he scored 43 goals. It's not bad, 91 points in 82 games playing with Gushin. But Gushin had 41 goals and 44 assists for a guy
And a
with
goal.
76 wrister.
I'll be honest, I don't even know who you're talking about.
They're young players that came out of my system that I gave to Byron for a pretty penny.
That's not part of your the Dickinson and Eckel trade, is it?
Yeah. Eckel.
No, Eckel is. I mean, he played good too.
Yeah, he played good.
30 points, 50 games.
Oh, Daniel Gushin. I see.
That was a while ago.
That was a while ago.
Okay. I mean, for me, when I look at him right now, it says he's like a Jordan Eberle. Looks like a pretty decent player.
I
Yeah.
traded him because he had the Dower trait, and I didn't know how bad it was.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see his passing ability and his stick handling. I feel like probably a lot of his goals are tied in with like deking and shooting, but who really knows? He doesn't have a ton of speed. He's a little guy though. I mean, to be fair, I would say that you kind of need to have somebody that scores goals on your team, right?
He's on a line with a goal scoring winger.
And a goal scoring center, Underwood.
Yeah, I mean
But, like,
Underwood looks still very good. I still liked him.
Yeah. If I was
do
gonna
not regret that pick at all.
overall looking at the trade deadline, if I was going to assign somebody who won for the future, it would probably be Boston, just because of how many picks he brought in for the older players on his team. But yeah, you got to think both Tampa and New Jersey got quite a bit more deadly for these upcoming playoffs.
You know, I just looked. Gushin had more goals than Austin Matthews.
like, seriously.
Wow.
I had
Dude.
3 players on the cusp of 50 goals. It was just so sad. I mean, I definitely agree. I think Boston is probably the winner of future moves. I gotta say, so with me, I'll just ask you guys what your thoughts are. Based on how my team looks, do you think me adding Heiskanen and then moving out Sorelli, and then probably also losing like Samsonov as my backup goalie because of that, do you think that's going to cause the team to be better long run? Do you think I can afford it, or do you think I just cause myself some major cap space grief later?
Have a look at your cap situation here.
He's
Oh,
got
I can only
7
have
mil.
20 people on my roster.
Yeah, right now he's capped. He's at exactly 81.5. But next year he's got about 7 mil, and Samsonov, Sandin, and a couple of other not so notable players are free agents.
I feel like you still have a bit of room to maneuver, and I think your main thing will be bringing in just depth to supplement like Matthews, Marner, and Heiskanen now, right?
Yeah, I mean
So
the good news is Marner's salary drops from 12.8 to 9.5 next year.
nice. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. To 10.5. Interesting.
I like it. I think you need a player like Heiskanen. If you can have a guy like that, it makes
No matter what, no matter what the price is, it's kind of worth it.
Yeah, like I gave up what, pick 5 and my second this year, and a replacement, and a starting goalkeeper, and 3 like that. And I felt like that was cheap. Like if he really wanted to get the most out of him, he could have just let him walk in RFA and gotten like 4 firsts.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I always find RFA is kind of a weird one, but yeah, I I mean, the problem is Anthony Cirelli is my favorite player, so I really had zero interest in trading him, and I could have traded him a few times, but I needed to clear the cap space. I was so cap tight. I thought Matthews at the time being on the IR protected my cap, but you only have it on the 7-day, not the 24. So if I put him on the 24, I could have been fine, but because I put him on the 7, I I done goofed.
Well, you made the best out of it. It doesn't look bad to me.
And I mean, with that $7 million of cap space, you can go out and try to find that third center. If it's not Sorelli, maybe somebody else in free agency, or maybe make another move this coming off season. We'll have
Yeah,
to see. We'll
I
have
mean,
to see how.
I
Sorry,
got
go ahead.
Helmut Heydrich, 6'6" German. I just wish his face-offs were better.
Okay, but the real question is when does DeJesus make the league? I'm thinking if I'm down and going into game 4 where I'm about to get swept, I'll put in DeJesus and see, just let Jesus take the wheel.
Oh God, I'm here for it. I would personally go to that game.
The
I'd take it.
ECHL goaltender who posted a 869 in the ECHL, but his name is Jesus. So
He's clearly got to win the game.
yeah, I believe.
He's from Brazil. Interesting. I didn't know they played ice hockey in Brazil.
Nor did I.
There's a lot of ice hockey in Brazil. Winter there all the time.
Seriously.
Hey man, I mean, if the Jamaicans can bobsled, I don't see why Brazilians can't play ice hockey.
True.
All right, shall we move over to the playoffs now?
I think that's a good idea. So I'll let you guys go first. Maybe we'll start with the team that's not in the playoffs. And that'd be Angus.
But I am also not in the playoffs.
Yeah, but you're like so far from not being in the playoffs, as you said. So
That's pretty true. That's
I was giving you that.
He was 20 points closer than I was.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Seattle's turning around. Like, if they can go from absolute bottom feeder to.
It is true though. Angus did set the NHL record for most goals given up this season.
Our goalkeeping was hot, buttery buns all season. Bad.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And maybe it's because you stole Joel Hofer from me as a backup goalie. And it was the game just saying, why would you do that? You are the reason I had to go get Samsonov.
Yeah,
I was perfectly content with having Luukkonen and Hofer, and then I had nobody.
You're welcome.
I can't believe that Hofer went 1-18. That's some hot garbage right there. So yeah.
His ats lend to the idea that he's good. He not good. As for how things stand and what I think, I'm surprised. Like, I know the moves Vegas made were pretty solid. I'm surprised they pulled out like number 1 overall with St. Louis, Vancouver. Vancouver had some tough injuries, but Edmonton's 6th. Like, this season is just weird.
I mean, what I will say with Edmonton is they're being controlled by a CPU now. So they were 2nd or 3rd before the CPU took over.
I thought he was leaving like when the season concluded. He's done.
Oh yeah, he left, but he's staying in the chat. Because like it's just right now he's too busy with stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, as his name clearly says, he's never leaving. And that was because I put that there, but yeah, he definitely wanted to stay in the group because he definitely wants to come back. He understands he may not get Edmonton, but he just had some stuff going on, and he's like, it's not fair to the league for me to like not pay attention, or to the
That's
team.
cool.
Uh,
That's
you
fair.
know, kind of the opposite of maybe Poe in Chicago.
He
He
disappeared.
didn't want. Oh, he's actually gone. Poe is gone from the server. Didn't even realize that. So I
Again,
guess I can just remove that GM. Be right. Well, I'll let you continue to talk while I go delete Chicago.
I am pleasantly surprised with St. Louis having given the task of, oh my God, you're 30 million over cap or some junk, to go from bottom team, super heavy over cap, second seed. Super impressed with what St. Louis did. Really everything in the East is like same old song and dance. New Jersey's first. Florida's really good. Like Buffalo, I was not so sure that they would be this good, but I thought they'd be a playoff team. And Philadelphia finally made it. So I thought that was all really cool, but I think it's going to be chalk in the East. Like, there's no way New Jersey's going to lose. I think that the best upset possibility, like Toronto over Tampa, is actually feasible. But I think Buffalo over Florida, even though it's a third and a fourth seed, in my opinion, would be the biggest upset in the East. And then the West, man, it's got to be Vegas or maybe St. Louis, but I think Vegas or Vancouver. If Vancouver's healthy, I haven't looked.
All right. What about you, Byron? What are you thinking?
Take a look here real quick, just a sec.
One thing I will say with your Vegas prediction is that Robin Lehner is out for the entire playoffs.
Oof.
So that may hinder their chances of getting to the finals. Kosa looks solid. He was a first year draft pick and 17th overall.
Wow. He looks insane.
He looks pretty good, but with young goaltenders, I often find that they struggle for consistency in their younger season. Until a goalie hits like 26, I don't see very much consistency from them. And yeah, like during the season, he posted a 904. He had a good first game, but we'll see how the rest of it goes. It'll be interesting to see.
Cal Peterson is 31 years old. Last year in real life, he was the AHL Player of the Year. Or he was the best goalie in the AHL. We're really that deep into this database.
Things are changing, man.
All right, so for the playoffs, I like Vancouver a lot. I think they're gonna go do some stuff in the West. Linus Ullmark is a good goalie. They've got a solid group of dudes in front of them. For the East, I don't know. If it was up to me to pick somebody out of the East, I think I would dark horse the Pittsburgh Penguins. Just,
Dude,
I have a
I
feeling.
haven't seen their GM log on since the trade deadline.
I don't know if they've logged on or not, but if they do log on and they manage their team, I think the Pittsburgh Penguins could make a run. It'd definitely be very interesting if they did. I don't know if they will.
Like Crosby his last cut.
Yeah, it's probably more likely going to be Tampa Bay or Florida. But my dark horse is the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's what I'm going for.
All right. I guess I'll give you my prediction now. In the East, I mean, it's hard just to say anyone other than New Jersey. I have utmost faith in Vassy, and I think Tampa will meet New Jersey in the conference finals, but I still think New Jersey takes that series. And then out of the West, I will agree. I'm very impressed with what St. Louis has been able to do this season. Really turn around their team. And if you look at their team, they've got a good young center core and good supplements for that on the wings with Kucherov and Tarasenko. That's filthy. Gibson's always been a very solid goaltender. So I'm going to have to go. Yeah, I'm going to have to go St. Louis, and St. Louis will meet New Jersey in the finals, is my guess.
I would love to see Erik Karlsson get a cup.
Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of my turn, so I'm gonna do a slight different look of things. So I was just pulling up the game. I mean, I think Vegas is going to get through Chicago, no problem. And I do think Vancouver's going to get through Edmonton just because the CPU. We can all see what happened to Quebec. Quebec did not get terrible, and they went from being like the fourth or third best team in the NHL last year, or sorry, in the East, to being the second worst all around. So I kind of do think Edmonton's just going to lose. St. Louis versus Winnipeg, I would say that I think I wouldn't be surprised to see Winnipeg win. It's just with real life events right now, if anything big happens for Winnipeg, it might be a little bit harder for them to get on. So St. Louis might have the edge there. And I know Crypto beat Nashville, but I do think Nashville's going to get out of the first round. So at that point, you have Vegas versus Vancouver. And I do think Vancouver takes that. And St. Louis versus Nashville. I feel like Nashville will probably get an injury like they normally do. And so because of that, St. Louis will win. And then you have St. Louis versus Vancouver. I think St. Louis has, with having Kucherov, big goal scorer, I think that definitely helps them. But overall great turnaround. I would say that some people will say St. Louis only got there because of Kucherov and Gibson, but I think even Mike can agree that team, being a CPU, didn't get good draft picks. Literally got nothing, and he's done a lot more than not do anything with that team. So I think you have St. Louis coming from the West. When it comes from the East, I mean, New Jersey beat Montreal 14-2. I do feel like New Jersey's going to win the round. Pittsburgh versus Philadelphia. It pains me to say this, but Philly's going to win because if you actually look at Pittsburgh, their goaltender is exhausted and he's still being played. So to me, an exhausted goaltender is usually a losing goaltender. As far as me against Tampa, so here is where I'm torn. I really want to, I want to win. But if I win this round, I have to play Florida again. And I think that Tyler will quit if I beat him again because we only play each other. It's terrible. So also, if I lose, I don't give my first to Washington. I get to keep my first because Dallas just said send him the 07 to keep it less complicated. The 27, not the 07. So
2007.
Yeah, 2007. So I do think Tampa's probably going to win just because they added a lot of things. And I mean, Magnus Krona is legit. all 99s. Like, that's why I removed Vasilevsky from there. It did nothing for him, having both goaltenders. Krona just needed a chance to spread his wings, and that's why Tampa Bay's second. And then Florida versus Buffalo. I know you guys all just like kind of shit on Buffalo, but let me
I
just
have Buffalo
remind you.
winning.
Well, that's true. Buffalo last year was down 3-0 in the playoffs. And then Angus was like, fuck you, Hokie. Let me sim 4 games straight. And I lost 4 in a row. So, and I beat Florida, and I still think my team is better than the 7th place that I'm in. The fact that I am a position behind Philadelphia is slightly irking because I finished with like what feels like 20 points more than him. I know that's not a realistic number. It was
It's
only
15. That's pretty
15.
close.
Yeah, only 15, but because of the way
The
that my
divisions.
division is,
Yep.
I got the 7th spot. So, anyways, so I'm taking Tampa. It's also opposite day. If I say I lose, maybe I win. And then I will say I think Florida is going to win. And then at that point, that's New Jersey versus Philly. And I mean, if anyone in this chat thought that uh, Giffen was going to make it to the playoffs in this league this
Yeah.
year, I think you're lying. So New Jersey's going to win that one, probably easier than Montreal. And then Tampa Bay versus Florida, I feel like Tyler is going to get screwed again and lose to the other team he's only played. He's only played me in Tampa Bay every single year. That's all he gets. If he beats
Ouch.
me, he's gotten Tampa Bay. Or if he's beaten Tampa Bay, he's gotten me. It's rather unfortunate. And then after that, I do think New Jersey has a shot to go against. Well, I think they'll beat Tampa, and then you know what? I'm gonna hope St. Louis beats New Jersey, just because if Vasilevsky lose again, I am okay. But I will say that because of all the shit that happened last year, Mike probably does slightly deserve winning because he did ask me last year if he gets the win because of the whole Jason thing, and I said no, that does not mean you win. So
Yeah,
it
because
would be nice.
everybody who lost to him would have went further.
Exactly, that's
Yeah.
what I said. I actually said Minnesota would have won it all last year. But anyways, the point is, if New Jersey wins, I would be happy with that, just for the case that they could have potentially won last year. So that's kind of my take on it. The hot take I have is Toronto goes all the way, and bam, Heiskanen wins MVP. But we all know that's not happening.
Are you
So,
trying to curse yourself?
yeah.
Like,
So if you
he's
didn't
gonna break his
realize,
leg next game.
oh, I'm aware. He's going to say career over.
I
Well,
had a
I-
guy.
He is out 14 years for physiotherapy. He's going to Robidaw Island, the same place Cousins about to go to the playoffs.
I
So,
actually have all the standings here in sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I thought you were done talking, my bad. But
never
I
do.
have all the standings here in a spreadsheet, and it's actually kind of really funny with Florida. They literally have only played you, Tampa, and this is actually their second year playing Buffalo. They played Buffalo in year 1 and lost in 5.
Damn.
So they've, despite making the playoffs every year, they've only played 3 different teams.
Yep. And they've lost to me 3 times. And I think they beat me the year that I had Tavares and Matthews. They beat me. The year that I traded him Tavares, I beat him. And then I got Nathan McKinnon, and since then I have beaten him twice. So it would be great if both him and I win. Like, the downside is I kind of wish that he would win because I do feel bad that it's only been him and I. But if I win, I have to give up my first. And at this point, I kind of want my first.
It's a
So,
deep draft. It looks like a good draft.
yeah. It's not even that. It's just since I had to give up my first for Heiskanen, I was kind of looking forward to one draft pick because I mean the way it's going, Austin Matthews, I might just end up trading him for some like much needed cap space, and like crypto will totally take him because he's
Ah,
messaged me like,
Good
cracking
evening.
top. Yeah.
what?
It so happens that I have cap space. How may I serve you?
Yeah, uh, Nate Nate Thompson.
Don't worry, I got a
Sorry,
7th round pick here with Matthew's name on it.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, chances are I won't do that.
Okay.
But I mean, it is actually looking like McKinnon might be my number one center, and I might move Matthews down. But I just need Nylander a little bit healthier. He's finally like slightly back, 71 condition. If I can steal this game and he gets 2 more days of rest, oh, I'm in. But yeah, that's kind of my playoff prediction. Clearly MZ got lost, and whatever stuff he was doing was longer than what he thought. So, do you guys have
Yeah.
any last thoughts?
I'm gonna win the cup. That's my hot take.
All right,
No.
there's
Go
the jinx.
Nashville.
There's the jinx.
Yeah, there's the jinx.
Yeah,
I
not
bel-
the not
I
the
The
believe in
only
you, Nashville.
honestly, the team I was most afraid of coming into this playoffs, just because Crypto has a knack for upsetting teams in the playoffs, was Crypto. I was like, I want to face anybody but you, and I ended up facing him. Oh.
he has a knack for getting the absolute most out of just about every single spot on the ice. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, even in the year that they were in the 8th seed, they beat the 1st seed Vancouver, then they beat Edmonton, and then they beat me and went to the finals against Tampa.
Yep.
Oh. All right. Yeah, I think that's everything. I think we can get to the sim. I want to see if I can win this game.
I mean, we could do live sim right here.
Yeah, do it.
Angus
All right,
sim.
let's do it.
Well, I
And,
mean, we're in the game, so it doesn't matter. You can push the button and we'll just watch it go.
yeah, that's true. I did that yesterday.
Yeah, as long as we see the day roll and the save go up, then we know it's legit.
I'm just sitting on my home screen.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm putting you guys on vacation.
Okay.
Yay, vacation.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah,
no,
I
you
know.
already did it.
But oh my god. Apparently there's 4 people on. Mike's on. Who's the other one? Oh, Vancouver's on. Look at that. You said Vancouver, and he showed up.
Speak of the devil.
For a second, I thought it was me that logged on because I thought I checked his lineup and I thought I was still there. So.
Oh, is that your prediction, Mike?
Sorry, what?
Is that your prediction? The image you posted?
Yeah, that's my playoff projections. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody happen to see the player projection for Underwood there?
No, I have to
Nathan
take a look in a
McKinnon.
second.
Oof.
Yeah.
I missed the sim. Did I actually end up winning that game?
I don't know. Just you gotta wait.
Oh, I'll wait
Gotta
and see in
send
a
the
second.
next set of games. And the good
New
news
Jersey
is
wins.
I lost. Woo!
Tampa wins.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to keep my draft pick.
Pittsburgh beat Philly, so it's gonna be a series.
And then Angus, you said I have to sim like the first. Oh.
Just make sure it's on the evening. Yeah.
Yeah, give me a second. I have to respond that Matthews is amazing.
Matthews praised.
hopefully there's okay. So this is morning.
Yeah, and then just sim one
If I
more.
oversim this, I'm going to murder you.
I can just
There,
come
now
back.
just stop here.
Yeah, I got it.
Return from vacation.
I would love to save, but there we go.
Please tell me I won. No. Oh, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna get swept in the first round.
Yeah, you can join me. We can party together.
Oh, god damn it.
Isn't that what Nashville's for? Is like the
Party town.
country party town?
Yeah.
Oh, you got somebody's on a screen that I can't save, and I hate you.
Thought the game saved.
I do 3 saves.
No, I'm not on the screen. I'm not on a screen still. So
Yeah, I'm out.
I haven't even returned from vacation.
It must be Vancouver.
there, I'm out of the game.
Oof. Vancouver took that one in overtime.
Oh no, it's not.
Here, I'll go on vacation too.
By the way, I
I'll
might
leave
have
the
a GM willing to join the league. He's a buddy of mine who expressed interest
Perfect.
in playing the game.
Does he? If he wants LA, I kind of need to know sooner than later.
Yeah, no, I'm messaging him right now.
Okay, you can now go in right this second. And there you go.
Which other teams are available again?
So we have Edmonton, LA, Quebec, and Anaheim.
Okay.
All right, guys. That is the end of this. So I will wrap this up. Thank you for listening, and we will try to do another one. Maybe at the beginning of the after the first little bit of the off season. If not, at the beginning of the season. Thank you for coming.